why I am advocating a no vote on March 8th. Hey everyone, Red Rebel Jeff Jones here, and in this video I'm going to talk about the upcoming referendums on the proposed changes to the Irish Constitution. Now before we get into it, please like and share this video to give it a boost. So the first referendum seeks to change the definition of family within the Irish Constitution. And it expands the definition from only married couples to those in, and I quote, durable relationships. Now there is quite a few issues with this. And first off, durable relationships is not defined at all. And what's weird, the government, like they're doing in the hate speech legislation, is refusing to define it. They're leaving the definition to the courts, but the courts don't sit around and define stuff in law. They only will deal with a problem with law if it comes up in a case, and that's very much likely to come up in a case. I think it's fair to say it'll have a lot more legal consequences that the government is kind of saying. The government is saying it won't have that much legal consequences, while the vague language I think actually means it will, and this is what's really concerning about it. Also, there was no pre-legislative scrutiny by the Dáil on this. The government basically prevented that. And when, I can't remember which one, I think it was McDowell that tried to get the minutes of the meetings where kind of the language was set out, what was the criteria for the specific language used in the amendments. He was trying to get the minutes for those meetings under a Freedom of Information request, and they refused to give it to him. I think that kind of tells you something, that they didn't really think that much about it, or they don't want people to know, otherwise they might vote the wrong way. Now the second referendum focuses on women's contributions in the home. It seeks to completely remove the acknowledgement of the value that the work that women do in the home to society. It seeks to completely remove that and to replace it with a general acknowledgement of the value of care that family members give to each other. And it also says that the government shall strive to support that. Now there's several issues with that. First off, and this is actually what's really interesting about this, is that there's so many instances at the moment of misinformation by the government on this. I think Catherine Martin was the one she's been doing it the most, but many government TDs and people who should know better what the Constitution says, they're saying that the Constitution states that a woman's place is in the home, where if you actually read the Constitution, it doesn't say that at all. It just acknowledges the valuable work that women do in the home as being a great benefit to society and to the common good. I think I struggle to understand why that's a bad thing to acknowledge. Like they're saying, oh, it's sexist language. It's like, women do really important work. When they're in the home, they do so much work and such important work. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, my mom goes out to work, but she actually does a hell of a lot of work here in the house. I'm going to be honest, I am immensely grateful for the work she's done. And that work is so valuable. Because that work that she has done has really enabled me to be a better person. So I think the sexism in this is with the Yes campaign, trying to change it, trying to remove the value that mothers have to society. Like, that acknowledgement should still be there. And I don't understand why it isn't. And this idea that a woman's place is in the home, that the Constitution says that, was actually debunked by the government's own electoral commission.
And I think it's important when we're beginning this campaign to remind people what 41.2.1 says. It says, in particular, and that's in the light of the protection for the family, the state recognises that by her life within the home, woman gives to the state a support without which the common good cannot be achieved. And the case law of the Supreme Court is quite clear that that doesn't mean women's place is in the home. It says that the work that women do provides an important protection and tool and support to society and to the common good. It goes on then to say that in the light of that support, the state shall therefore endeavour to ensure that mothers shall not be obliged by economic necessity to engage in labour to the neglect of their duties in the home. That's a statement of intent. It's not a statement of law, it's a statement of intent by the state that it will endeavour or try to ensure that mothers don't, by reason of economic necessity, have to go out to work, essentially, outside the home. The proposal is to change the entire of those two paragraphs and to delete both of them and replace it with what is called, in the texts around this, a more gender-neutral phraseology in the Constitution.
The phrasing of the amendment is also an issue for me. It doesn't actually give the government any enforceable responsibility to look after carers. It says it shall strive to support. What does that mean? It says the government kind of should make an effort to support them. But if they don't, well, they have to make an effort to at least try to support them. That's really what it is. But if they don't, then there's nothing really that can be done about it. So it's not really enforceable language, which I think is one of the biggest issues here. The Yes side believes the Constitution needs to be modernised. And that's why these referendums are being pushed through. But it's being really, really vague in both referendums, but specifically the family referendum with regard to durable relationships. And it's not just being vague in the care referendum. It's just flat out lies about the Constitution currently that's going on with that. And I think when you have to lie about a law you're trying to change, it kind of tells you your true intentions, that it's not a good, that your changes aren't good, and that what you're trying to replace is that you know what you're trying to replace is something that actually works better. So what do you guys think? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear them. And if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and do not forget to subscribe to keep up with my latest videos. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. We should not be changing it based on vague language and flat out lies. That's why I'm supporting a no vote on March 8th.